Welcome to the Throttle Up Leadership Podcast. I'm Dr. John Dentico, your host. At LeadSim LLC, we understand that in today's ever-changing world, successful organizations and leaders must be able to take control, even amidst a volatile and uncertain future. That's why we developed a leadership training system that equips leaders to forecast potential problems and opportunities, simulate real responses, and proactively take charge of their organization's future. Our goal for this podcast is part of an overall strategy to provide you with innovative ideas and effective leadership practices to help you succeed in taking charge of the future. In episode 2, we'll explore the important differences between leadership development and leadership impact. Let's begin. Take any studied activity that requires applying skills to attain a level of competent performance. Activities such as cooking, playing baseball, or driving a car. Mountains of information and training exist for each of these pursuits. Yet, we remain unconvinced about whether or not the formal instruction has been effective until the individual trainee makes a meal, hits a fly ball over the fence, or drives to work in traffic free from accidents. It is an accepted norm that while people may possess formal knowledge associated with a particular activity, the ability to convert that type of knowledge into practice requires an individual to possess know-how. And know-how, or tacit knowledge, comes only from experience and is often difficult to put into words or communicate. It is a standard applied to every discipline, field of study, or human endeavor, except traditional leadership training programs. After more than 30 years of research, consulting, and training, I have learned that there is a difference between being a leader and doing leadership. What remains a frequently overlooked distinction is the difference between leadership development and leadership impact. For me, the term leadership development is a misnomer, which is a contradiction in terms. Instead of using the phrase leadership development, I prefer leader development, whereas leadership is the applied practice in the real world. These are important distinctions to make. Why? Because while numerous leader development programs available to organizations exist, we have little idea whether these programs produce actual results until the moment that an individual puts them into practice. You see, a leadership theory, model, or idea can be anything anyone says it is, until one has to solve a complex issue based on that concept. Every day, increasingly more ideas and notions of leadership spring forth, but few writings attempt to clarify or separate it from other forms of organizational activity, such as management, or from the actual practice of leadership itself. At last check, over 646 different definitions of or models of leadership currently exist. So many that if all the leadership ideas were placed on a platform, Atlas, who held up the world, would have been crushed under its weight. More important, it is no longer sufficient to think about leadership, education, and training as the key to development, but as the goal of organizational impact. Because in the end, organizations will grow and thrive, or they will die by what people do, and people do what they know how to do. Let me say that a bit differently. People do what they have learned to do and have had the opportunity to practice in the real world, because many times well-intentioned ideas often do not work. But there is much more to the story. In episode 3, I will clarify the often confusing differences between leadership and management. Every day, life asks us to solve its most complex questions and problems. How will you respond? What will you do? The Throttle Up approach offers proven 21st century leadership practices to help you confidently face the challenges posed by a volatile and uncertain future. To find out more, visit throttleupleadership.com to find several free resources that will help you begin the journey of taking control of the future. Until next time, here's wishing you success as you throttle up to a more productive, prosperous, and meaningful life, where your actions make a difference to you and those around you. Thank you for taking time to listen and view this episode.